Shuttle, okay? So we're saying we're going to go on, but we know that serpent takes a while, takes a long while to kind of perfect and understand and make our body do what needs to be done. So we'll set that aside now and we'll work on Maiden Works Shuttle. Wait, how does Maiden Works Shuttle now? Okay, so we have to go this way, okay? So Maiden Works Shuttle after the last golden cockerel and the last serpent and the last golden cockerel. So we're veering to the right and we're in this stance, right? Sorry, this stance, right? Yeah, okay. So let's do the last serpent. The last serpent is this way, left hand, foot here. Okay, everybody got it? Down, halfway, veer to the right, swing out, up, golden cockerel. All right, then reposition yourselves, okay? So this is where we are, okay? Try it for the overview. You're going to extend the knee, put your heel down, hold your ball. Out with your heel. Spin the ball, right hand on the forehead, turn your hips and waist, shuttles on her right. Sit back, lower, pivot out, hold your ball. Out with your heel of your left, spin the ball, left hand above your head, turn the hips and waist, shuttles on her left. Half step to the back, across your hips and waist, needle to the bottom of the sea. Okay, let's end with up one hand, join it by the second hand, then your foot, start in the middle with your touching, extend the knee. Let's end it at flash arms like a fan. Okay, so we're going to have to, so in doing this as a drill, you may not be in the exact extreme of the left or extreme of the right, but for our purposes to see visually, we're going to take it forward, okay? But it'll match up once you understand it. So we said, what did we say? We're going to go up this way, right? Veering towards, everybody watch first, okay? This is your golden cockerel. Extend the knee, hold your ball. And then you don't usually take a tap here, but for teaching purposes and for going slowly, I would allow the tip. Out with your heel, rotate the ball above your head, turn the hips and waist, maiden on her right. Sit back, out, hold your ball, heel out, turn the ball, up and above your head, maiden on her left. Half step to the back, across the hips and waist, the knee is extended, and I'm on my toe of my left, I go to the bottom of the sea. One hand comes up, join it by the second hand, then your foot, out with your heel again, on an extended knee, flash arms like a fan. Okay, one more time. Okay, one more time this way. Okay? Any questions on that? So maybe I should explain what I mean by extend the knee. So when the needle at the bottom of the sea or anything, this is not an extended knee, but this is an extended knee, would allow me to then do this or do this. Extend the knee, okay? Rather than like this. Left, golden cockerel. Extend the knee, heel down, hold your ball. Out with your heel, spin the ball, right hand above your head, turn the hips and waist, maiden on her right. Sit back, lower, pivot out, hold your ball. Out on the heel, spin the ball, left hand above the forehead, turn the hips and waist, maiden on her left. Half step to the back. Extend the knee, needle to the bottom of the sea. One hand, two hands, then your foot, touch, extend the knee, flash arms like a fan. Okay, so I can see where if you take too much of an angle this way, then you don't have anything to follow. So you can make that adjustment, okay? As long as we get the pieces in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're too much this way, maybe you want to turn this way a little bit so you can follow. But eventually we'll get into the zigzag position. When needle goes to the bottom of the sea, remember we talked about mittens? So here's your mitten. So you're coming down like this. There are two ways. If you remember, Ken comes down this way, comes down, starts up shallower, and I tend to come up a little higher. And I just like the ebbing and flowing, coming down, starting higher, going down lower. Whereas I think he's more into where he ends up, where his hand ends up, okay? Something like that. But you get the point that it has to not come shallow here, but it has to start up higher, come down. Not so much straight down, but on a diagonal down, up, one hand, join it with the next, then your foot, touch, extend the knee, touch. When you flash arms like a fan, the forward hand has no priority. It's the same rubber band that you pull out equidistant. Although it may not show that this is whatever, 12 inches from me, this is 12 inches from me, but you already are starting from the forward position, so this should be fine, as long as you have that openness from your core, and you'll feel it. So you don't want to overemphasize and just make sure that the forward hand is forward and the other one just kind of stays, but you want this openness where it starts in the center, it opens equidistant, okay? And you can kind of test that, experiment with that in your quiet time, okay? Get it? All right, let's try it again, okay? And then reposition if you can't see, okay? So we're this way. Golden cockerel stands on its right. Extend the knee on an L, hold your ball. Out with your heel, spin the ball, right hand above the head, turn your hips and waist, maiden on her right. Sit back, lower, slightly pivot out, hold your ball, out on an L, spin the ball, left hand on the forehead, above the head, turn the hips and waist, shuttles on her left. Half step to the back, across your hips and waist with the left hand, on your toe, down to the bottom of the sea. Up one hand, two hands, then your foot, extend the knee, touch, start in the middle, stretch, out. And then look at your stance. What should be the stance be? Stance should be a bow stance, yeah? Bow stance. And then don't favor the forward, don't favor the forward. If I'm at flash arms like a fan, the final movement, I do not have to turn my hips and waist. If I'm in a bow stance, hey, the bow stance, remember, the hips are forward. They do not have to go this way. So to see it better, flash arms like a fan. Bow stance, flash arm like a fan. I do not have to is wrong. Turn it this way, okay? Okay, if you're using your core, it shouldn't affect too much of the positioning of this here. Okay, core, extend it here. Because when you want to sit back, you're going to have to make some kind of a readjustment or contort yourself to then sit back. We're thinking about what's good for being prepared for the next round, for the next step. You got to get it right, okay? So don't change that position of the hips. If you have trouble listening or following what I'm saying, go back to ground one. T stance, L stance, bow stance. What happens? Our hips and waist turn. Bow stance, flash arms, okay? Get it? Am I saying something that you understand? Yeah? Okay, I'll show you a forward movement. Extend the knee. Better balance. Extend the knee, turn. Hips and waist helps you with shuttling. Sit back, lower. Slightly pivot out. Half step to the back. Touch. Okay. Can we do it a little better now? Okay, going forward. Golden cockerel stands on its right. Extend the knee. Hold your ball. Out with your heel. Turn, spin. Hips and waist, shuttle to the right. Sit back. Pivot slightly out. Hold your ball. Out with your heel. Turn, spin. Turn the hips and waist. Shuttles on her left. Half step to the back. Across your hips and waist with your left hand. Set up the right hand. Point out with your left foot. Bend down. One hand comes up. Two hands come up. Then your foot. Extend the knee. Heel out. Equidistance to flash arms like a fan, making sure that you're in a bow stance, okay? Bow stance. Sit back, lower. Pivot the front foot, fist the right hand, and you're ready for next week's lesson, okay? So these are complicated, but once you get even a little grip on it, it still flows with the rest of the movements that you know so well, mainly because you're ebbing and flowing, taking a different position. Just very challenging, but very beneficial, mind and spirit. It gives you that lift, okay? All right. Remember, we always said your hands go for the ride, the arms go for the ride. So how is my hand coming down? Because I'm what? Thinking it through, lowering my core. How's it coming up? I'm extending. How am I going to flash arms? I'm using the core so that my hands are not, did nothing for me. All I was concerned with this last movement, which is incorrect, is where my hands are. But let's say, forget about the hands. Set it up, they'll go down. Will they come back up? Sure. Will they come out? Sure. So maybe that's a good way of understanding and practicing and doing Tai Chi. Know that the hands have a position, but the power of the hands and the movement of the hands come within the mind and the core. In Maiden Works Her Shuttle, it's no different. When Maiden works her shuttle, she has her ball, she extends her knee, extends the knee, drop the shoulders, turn. How am I turning? The power's coming here, it's coming up. Turning my hips and waist. I'm not pushing out this way. I am using my energy to turn and to extend that bottom hand to come out. And you try that, okay? It's easy to see and understand, but then you have to apply it, and that takes the practice. Then you ask yourself, am I using my hands? Yeah, I am using my hands because I did not care about where my energy was. But once I say the hands go for the ride, and then that flip of the what is, of course, thinking through, okay? And this is part of centering, right? You're on one foot, you need the balance. You center, keep your hands together, keep your energy together, okay? Up and down, where's that? We've heard about that up and down before. On your toe, we're gonna spin out to deflect. Hands go for the ride. Hands go for the ride. And you can test that. You just say, am I really moving my hands only because I know it needs to be there at the end? Or is something else powering myself? As soon as you get that inkling, you probably feel a tingling, you probably feel powerful, and you know that the energy is doing the job for you, okay? And this is all that encompasses all of Tai Chi. And once you get that sensation, you feel, wow, you want to be able to capture it all the time. That's the stuff that makes you feel really good. Not just powerful, not just doing Tai Chi, but gives you that boost or that lift because your internal energy is actually being activated, okay? And a lot of times we don't really talk about it, but I guess you might say it's internalized already, so it's good to kind of talk it through.
Talk about the hands go for the ride. And I like to use the analogy of a whip. The power of the whip is eventually expressed at the tip, but the power starts. The last is the flick of the wrist. The power is coming from wherever your power is here, and it's the stroke here, and it's at the butt of the whip, the handle. But as it gets down farther and farther, the last thing that really is the payoff is a little flick. Okay, so sometimes people say, wow, look at them getting whatever they're trying to get with the whip. And nobody realizes that you gotta start from someplace here before it gets to there. Same thing, going for the ride. In Maiden, you're here, step out, turn up, and this is starting to do this, or here, come here, and you're going straight up, and the arms go for the ride, because once you've set your position, you're doing this until the last minute. The last minute is, and the complete movement, yeah. I don't end up here, I end up here. Okay, and if you were fighting, that's where the business is. So, just for the sake of completeness, when you do your Maiden, it's body, 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 up, turn. This last, drop the shoulder, and the flick of the, and again, say if you're doing needle to the bottom of the sea, it starts off here, but the last portion, the finished portion, can be open. You can hit here, you can hit down, you can grab the person. See, all the finish, you get the attention to the finish and the hands, but the hands are the extension of what you first started off with, your core, and you're moving the arms and go for the ride. You're moving it to the position of final action. the utilization is to coming up, and you may meet the block, but you deflect it. Again, the finish is as you turn your body, and it's just I guess it's a story of saying you're trying to transfer energy from central to peripheral, and it goes from your stance, your dantian, your substantiality, and then here, turn, and you're coming up here again, still with force of dropping your shoulders, and then turning your body. Drop your shoulder, turn your body, last finish.
Okay, so everybody, let's just let's hold our ball. Right hand on the bottom, right hand on the top, sorry. Roll the ball. What happens? The hand goes for the ride, right? Doesn't matter where we're going to go now, okay? But the top hand drops, whereas the right hand, the right hand drops, the left hand starts to come up. Shuttle, then push out. So it does naturally come down. That's your question, yeah? So in Tai Chi, we talk about being relaxed. So if we just hold the ball, we can turn it any old way. We can rotate it, but we have a sensation, relaxing sensation. And in doing this, you notice that one shoulder drops, the other one, I want to say, comes up, but does not come up this way, yeah? It just goes, and what are we talking about? Is it the hand that's making our thing go up and down? It's our core that's helping, that's totally directing what we're doing, our mind. So naturally, when Maiden works her shuttle, hey, we don't have to think about that. If we know that we're going to have to rotate the ball, that shoulder comes down, then comes up. Okay?